Wow. So 2 blowouts basically from these 2 games last night. In the Heat Bucks game, Trailblazers Nuggets game. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps me out. Other than that, let's get into it. You guys know how we do it. In order, starting with Miami at Milwaukee, 98-132. 98-132. Let's just talk about this Bucks shooting, of course, because they had an absurd shooting game. I'm sure the numbers were better towards the beginning of the game and throughout halftime, because they just kind of put their bench mob in towards the end of the game. You know, that tank shooting for the entire game, but it doesn't even matter. They shot 41% from 3, 22 of 53, a franchise record, hitting 22 threes, 46 and 94 from the field, basically 49% from the field, compared to the Heat shooting abysmal 8 from 28 from 3 and only 40% from the field, 33 of 82. That's basically what happened. The Bucks had an insane shooting night. Giannis had a good game. He missed almost all of his threes. He only hit one of them out of 7, but ended up with 31 points and 13 rebounds in 31 minutes that he played. Chris Middleton only played 24 minutes, shot 4 or 5 from the field, had 17. I guess the outlier here is a guy by the name of Bryn Forbes, who went 6 for 9 from 3, was 4-5 at one point before halftime, had 22 points off the bench, 8 for 12 shooting in 20 minutes. He was super helpful when it came to absolutely demolishing this team. He let a spark off the bench. He was just hitting 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. It was like he couldn't miss. I think he had 19 before halftime. He was an immediate spark for this team and basically killed Miami. Miami couldn't make anything. They were turning the ball over like crazy. Shots weren't going down. Passes were getting stolen. It was just a bad night for the Heat in general. And now that I've seen them lose 2, I kind of want to see them play at Miami and bounce back, because this is the NBA and we all know that teams can come back from anything in the playoffs. 2-0, 3-1, doesn't matter. This is a Miami Heat team. They're a good team. They did make the finals last year. I'm not going to count them out when it comes to winning this series, but it is pretty much over. They're down 2-0 now. They would have to win basically 4 out of these next 5 games, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that against this Milwaukee team. This Milwaukee team is firing at all cylinders at the right time, whether that's Drew, Chris Middleton, Giannis, all on the same page, PJ Tucker off the bench, Pat Connaughton off the bench, Bryn Forbes off the bench. This team, they're just clicking at the right time, while Jimmy is having a horrible series so far. 4-10 shooting in this game, 10 points. Trevor Ariza, horrible game for him. He played 19 minutes and logged 0 points and 0 for 3 shooting. Bam Adebayo is having a hard time with Giannis. 5 for 11 from the field, 16 points for him in 29 minutes. Kendrick Nunn only shot 4 of 14, 9 points in this game. Their real saving grace, I guess, for Miami, something that they could point to and that went well for us. Dwayne Dedmon and Goran Dragic, they had okay games. In case of Dwayne Dedmon, he had a better game. 8 of 11 shooting, 19 points for him in 21 minutes, and Goran Dragic went 18 points, 5 for 11 from the field in 24 minutes. So that's the only thing Miami can really take away and say, wow, this is what we did well in this game. Dwayne Dedmon had a good game, and Goran Dragic is still Goran Dragic. That was a question going into the series, but they got absolutely blown out, basically 40 bombed by this Milwaukee team, 98-132. I'm going to say the Heat have basically a maybe 5 to 10% chance of winning this series after losing 2 straight in Milwaukee. They could bounce back and win these next 2 games in Miami, and then we'd have a series, but I would have to see that they would absolutely have to win Game 3. Game 3 is a must-win for the Heat. If they don't win Game 3, the series is over, and we can basically declare it at that. It'll go 4 or 5 games. Miami might win 1 at home, but if they lose Game 3, it's pretty much over. Going into the more interesting game, but kind of another blowout. Not necessarily a blowout, but it's a blowout. Portland at Denver, our last game, 109-128. Denver gets the bounce back win. The series is now tied 1-1. Denver finally gets one at home. This is absolutely led by Nikola Jokic being absolutely outstanding. 15 to 20 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, 38 points in 31 minutes. Outstanding game for him, who outplayed Damian Lillard, who also had an outstanding game, dropping 42, 9 to 16 shooting from 3, 11 of 24 from the field in 42 minutes. At one point, had 8 threes before halftime. 8 threes before halftime. He hadn't scored in the second quarter until like 6 minutes and 53 seconds, and he had like 20 points in the second. Damian Lillard was going off in that second quarter. Everyone was kind of like, wow, Dame might get the 3-point record. I was kind of assuming by that point they were losing at halftime. They were down by 7. And I was kind of assuming that he would kind of cool off. He just had an amazing second quarter. Kind of like Tobias Harris in the game before. He had 30 at halftime and ended up with 37. So I was going to assume that, okay, that's probably not going to carry over. Most people cool off before or cool off after halftime. Halftime is just a really long break and things happen like that. But it happens sometimes. Good players come out and they're still hot after halftime, but most don't. And that's kind of what happened to Damian Lillard. He only hit one more 3, and he scored, I think, 12 points after he came back from halftime. So not necessarily a good second half for Damian Lillard, but he had an amazing first half. And CJ McCollum also had a pretty good game, 38 minutes, 9 to 12 shooting, 21 points for him, 6 rebounds. Yusuf Nurkic had a bad shooting night, 2 for 8 from the field, but logged 13 rebounds and 7 points in his 25 minutes that he played. And the Blazers bench, not really providing anything. Carmelo had a bad game in his 21 minutes that he played, 1 for 5 shooting, 1 for 4 from 3, only 5 points. 5 fouls. He almost fouled out in this game. No one else really provided anything except for maybe Anthony Simons, who had 3 points in 10 minutes. But other than that, not necessarily anything. We all know this Blazers team has no one to defend Jokic. We saw that in Game 1. Now we're seeing it in Game 2. But Jokic was able to up the assist for himself. He got up to 5 assists compared to his 1 assist in Game 1, which was crazy to see from him because he's one of the top passers in the NBA, even as a big. So seeing 1 assist from him in Game 1 was kind of crazy. He's back up to 5, which is more like it. 8 rebounds, not necessarily his regular season numbers, but for assists, but it's up there. But he has Campazzo in this lineup starting in this game. 30 minutes, 4-10 shooting, and 6 assists from him and 12 points. Campazzo is doing a really good job passing, running that point guard spot, while Jokic is being able to score because he is their best scoring option, as we can see, even ahead of Michael Porter Jr., who had 18 points in this game in 33 minutes. But Jokic, they need him for scoring. Campazzo is doing a really good job handling his assist numbers. Campazzo is a really good passer. He's a naggy defender on Damian Lillard. The last thing I really want to talk about for this game is they switched Aaron Gordon onto Damian Lillard in the second half, and that was that. That's why Dame had a really, not a bad second half, but not his first half numbers where he was going absolutely berserk. Aaron Gordon did a really good job on Damian Lillard, as best as you can do on a superstar, because you can't really stop a superstar, but you can slow him down. But he did a really good job on Damian Lillard, and I think that'll be the way they go for the rest of the series unless Dame is able to exploit it in Game 3 and the games going on. Other than that, Denver gets this win 128-109. Good win for Denver, tying up the series. You don't want to fall 0-2 at home and then have to go to the Blazers' home court and play them at home. So getting a win here was very important for them. But other than that, you guys know the drill. Stay cool, stay safe, have a good one. Can't wait for these NBA games.